Hello and welcome back to the Canaries Chat Football channel. Today we have a rating video and that is on England midfielders. So I've tried to go central midfielders or players that have played maybe like attacking midfield for England before the list starts. There is one player that actually no, we won't spoil it. There is one player that I've maybe excluded, but that is mainly because I believe they don't play as centrally as the others. So yeah, let's get into it. Obviously, comment down below if you disagree. I'm sure there will be a couple. And I've kind of gone on recent form, the importance for England and things like that. So in at number 10, I have Lewis Miley. So I think he's not maybe having his breakout year with Newcastle, but he's certainly getting more consistent game time. He is pushing to be one of those three in the midfield with kind of Bruno G, Tonali. I think he's kind of starting to take Joel Linton's place. Newcastle fans absolutely love him. I think there is a good possibility that in the future he will be certainly pushing towards the starting lineup of the England team. I don't think that is as of yet. I think there's a few more players that have either proven it for England or a bit more in form than him at the moment, but he is definitely kind of creeping up that list. And yeah, I've gone with 10 for Lewis Miley. Number 9, I have gone Conor Gallagher, recently just transferred to Spurs. The Atletico Madrid transfer maybe didn't go as he was expecting in places, and yeah, obviously before that, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, very highly thought of, and yeah, he's one of the more industrious players in this list. That's probably why he's maybe slightly lower down, because I think there's other players that do his role a bit better. He has played relatively okay for England in the past. Obviously, we've had the likes of kind of Calvin Phillips, Wright, Henderson, that have kind of taken that role over from him. So yeah, he's coming at 9. And then at 8, we have Morgan Gibbs White. So again, different to Gallagher, bit more technical. Obviously, Forest aren't really having a very good time at the moment, but he is definitely a quality player, that is of no doubt. He's one of those that I believe maybe if he was in the England squad a few years ago, he probably could have pushed on. Now we kind of have a plethora of attacking talent, which probably has stumped his growth within the England setup. I do think he's a very technically gifted player. Obviously, Mr. Marinakis has kept him at the club, and there was talks that he was getting that transfer away. I do think he maybe needs to move away from Nottingham Forest next year to stand kind of any hope to get into the England setup at a later date, maybe for the Euros next time. But yeah, he's coming in at 8th. We then have a player that can play centrally, can play on the left. I've gone Eze, 7th. A bit of a purple patch player in places, like he'll have a really good game, then go slightly missing. England, he's done okay since coming into the setup. Arsenal, again, big transfer come in. He's had like really good games. Tottenham, obviously, is the standout one. And then in places has tailed off. Obviously, he can play on the left and cut in. And he's also played in Odegaard's kind of absence with his injury in the kind of central attack and midfield role. He has also played there for England. As I said, looks okay. I do think there are maybe 3 players ahead of him in that position. So I think it's going to be hard for him to force a move into that midfield side. The opportunity for Eze is probably more on the left. The player that I did not include in this is Morgan Rogers. So there's probably an argument that probably should have, considering I've put Eze in. However, I do think he plays more on the left, and he'll play more on the left probably for England when he gets that chance. I would put him ahead of Eze in the left side for me, personally speaking. So yeah, if he was to play centrally, I do think he would be above Eze as well. I do think probably still coming in around that 7th mark, but unfortunately, yeah, I couldn't really see a way of putting him in this list. Now, 6th, I have gone Foden. I know he's obviously having a very good season this year. Last season, not so good. England, I don't think he's ever really set the world alight. He's obviously played on the right-hand side as well as centrally in places. Southgate was obviously trying to find a system that you can play kind of like Palmer, Foden, Bellingham all within it. I do think if Foden carries on the form that he's currently got, then he's definitely got a shout within that attacking midfield role. It also depends on the formation that Tuchel's going to play. As I said, we've got a lot of attacking players, which we've got another kind of two to get through. And do I think they're ahead of Foden? Yeah, I do at this point in time. There is one who I think is towards the top end of the list who Tuchel may start knocking down the pecking order due to kind of obviously reasons that have been discussed in the media. So we'll go through that when we get there. But Foden's coming in at 6th. I've then gone Palmer at 5. I think for me, again, very similar to Foden. He's not having the best year again for Chelsea. He's had kind of an injury. He's come back from it. Maybe didn't hit the heights that he did kind of in the 2024 year, because obviously 2025 it was a little bit of a slog for him to get kind of open play goals and things like that. Again, very technically gifted player. Has played well for England when he has come on. I do think there is an opportunity that you play him on the right, similar to Foden, but then if you do that, you then can't really play Saka, and it all depends on the formation that Tuchel's going to play. I think Saka is probably going to be the starting right winger. I think there's a strong chance of that. It's then that attacking midfielder role, or whether we go kind of a flat 4-3-3, whether we go, obviously Tuchel's played 3 at the back / 5 at the back in places. It's really hard to predict at this point in time. So Palmer in 5. Now, he could quite easily be in 4th, but I have a big bias to the player in 4th just because I think he's brilliant, and that is Adam Wharton. I think he is a very Spanish Englishman. The way that he plays, the way he receives the ball, he moves it on, the way, yeah, I just think he's a brilliant, brilliant player. Hasn't got his opportunity under Tuchel. I will freely admit he is probably too high in the grand scheme of things, so I do expect some backlash on that one. But for me, he is just a brilliant player, which I hope is able to push his way into the Tuchel setup. Again, the issue is we're very gifted in midfield. Midfield is not really an issue for England. It's how you get the best out of them. So yeah, Adam Wharton in 4th. 3rd is Elliot Anderson. The reason why I've put Elliot Anderson 3rd is I believe he is kind of the linchpin to that midfield, that with him in it, you free up Rice, and Rice for me is the best midfielder in the world, so no surprise probably where he's coming in at. But if you can free up Rice to have a bit more freedom, not so defensively minded, can push forwards, you're going to get the best out of him. Anderson does that so well defensively, and his passing range as well is brilliant. So I've gone Anderson at 3rd, Bellingham then at 2nd. So for me, again, has come up in big games. You think of kind of Serbia overhead kick. He is capable of doing it again. Madrid, it hasn't maybe been his best season so far. There is an argument that he could slip further down, but I do also think that he is a player with the ego and attitude that is willing to take England on his back and will roll his sleeves up to try and get England over the line. And I think sometimes that's what you need. You need that bit of arrogance to push yourself forward. I think for me, those 3 would be my starting midfield: Anderson, Bellingham and Rice. They would be the 3 that I'd go for if we are playing a 3 in midfield. So unsurprisingly, Declan Rice, number 1, best England midfielder we've got, best midfielder in the world, in my opinion. He's got everything. He's added more goals. His passing's amazing. His defensive contributions are second to none. I really don't know what more you could want from him. I think he's a great character to have in the club, well, in the country, shall I say, in the setup. And yeah, I don't know what more we could want from a central midfielder. He can do everything that we could possibly ask him for. And you've got, for me, after Harry Kane, he is the next name on the team sheet. No, maybe after Harry Kane and Pickford, for me, I think is a shoe-in for number 1. So yeah, that is my list of top 10 best midfielders. Obviously, some attacking, some more defensive, some more just central midfielders. I know there's probably going to be a little bit of controversy around Morgan Rogers and where I've put Palmer and Foden, but that is a hill I'm willing to die on. But as always, if you've enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. There's plenty more kind of tier list opinions coming up. So if you want to get involved in those, get involved in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, and we will see you for another video very soon.